All right. I still didn't find my ice cream, but there's two cars here. There's two Z28s from the same era. These would be third gen Z28s, I believe, and this body came out in 1978, I believe, but this one here looks like a 1980, and that one there, actually, that looks like a 79, but this one here looks like a 1980. I like this car because it has that two-tone paint scheme with the snorkel on the roof. The engine in this car is garbage, not specifically to the car that this guy owns, but this one here, not very good. I mean, it's got a Chevy 305 with a two-barrel quadrajet. I was OEM. I don't really think this guy did anything special to it, just because the kind of body rod it's got on there on the side, if you see it, right? This also is a unibody car, so the wheels are nice. Those wheels, they came with this car, but I believe they're from an earlier Z28, like a 1974, you know? But I think I like about this car, jeez, I gotta remember to focus, right? The thing I like about this car is the movie Xanadu. If you're moving that movie Xanadu with Olivia Newton-John, and she had the, do you wanna go to Xanadu? I had a bunch of Hot Wheels cars that were like just like this, Z28s. They were awesome. They were awesome. Ooh, what's that right there? That's an Oldsmobile Holiday. That's got to be, I don't know, it looks like a 1956, you know? That's what it looks like. And then you got this one right here. It's another junk bucket, but, you know, that's the one thing you got to keep in mind. In New York, a lot of the guys don't put enough work like they do in other places. In New York, you come to a car show, guy just gets a car with a V8, calls it a hot rod. A two-door car with a V8. Don't put any work into it. You can tell. So you can't tell from right here, but this one right here, it's got all types of bad paint work. This is the original paint. It's got the paint's chipping off the doors and everything, you know. But this one right here, it's even got the spoilers on it, and they're all faded. you know, it's like they were sitting on the floor of his garage for 10 years. But either way, if you get one of these cars, Z28, 1980, 1979, you can do a lot of things with this. The first thing I would do is I would put a posi traction in it. Then I would dump that 305. You can put an LS in there if you wanted to. But, you know, in my head, you might as well get something more creative and simple too, like getting the 4.3 to 262 out of an Astrovan from the late end of its model of its run. The Astrovan stopped in 2004. So if you got an Astrovan from 2004, it came with a high output 4.3. That's what you put in this car, just for shits and giggles. Now, if you really wanted to get into it, you know, you can also drop a 454 in there, but at that point, you drop a 454 or an LS, you're going to have to brace the subframe with the front subframe and the rear subframe, because like I said, this is a unibody car. So what happens is the body will twist if you put too much power to the rear axle. So you have to either put a box member component under the body part, you know, some tubular braces, or, you know, but in my case, I would just get the Astrovan high output 4.3, drop it in here, and I call it a day, man. You know, if you look what this thing had, this 305 had about 105 horsepower in 1980. Now the Astrovan, because that van was geared up for towing, that thing came with about maybe 200 horsepower. Now that's still pretty low, but you can work with it because, like I said, the 4.3 and the 350 are the same engine, sharing the same components with the same part numbers. So all you got to do is get better intake, get a better exhaust, get a better camshaft, and it's not like it's hard to get. You just got to have a machine shop. You tell them what you want to do when you bring them V8 components meant for a V6 engine. All right, so now they're playing Toto, and I really want my ice cream. And it's about sunset now, so I don't know. So this guy showed up with the 56 Oldsmobile. But I'm like, bro, I don't want to get here when it's dark because you really can't get good visuals in the dark. And you see there's a bunch of motorcycles here, but I don't give a shit about motorcycles, so I'm not going to even talk about those. All right? So let me go over here, man. I know there's an ice cream place up there, Cold Stone. Oh, there it is right there. All right, guys, I'm going to get me some ice cream.